What's going on, guys? I do not feel like doing any work today, but I need to cut my grass. It's been like 2 weeks at least, and you can see I have weeds and all other kind of gnarly crap going on in my yard. So, as much as I hate to do it, I'm about to get some cardio in. But real quick, I threw on some open-ended lug nuts, and I'm not sure how I feel about them. Maybe I'll just hold on to them until I get some 18-inch wheels, which I'll be doing next year. And maybe I'll just get some shorty stub close end lug nuts. But I threw these on last night and rotated my tires for the first time. I'm at about 10,000 miles. I guess you're supposed to do it every 6,000 miles. So every oil change, you should rotate your tires. But I went ahead and did this last night, and I kind of ran into a dilemma. It seemed like no matter how I or where I placed my tires, whether I kept them on the same side and moved front to back, back to front, or crisscrossed them from back to front and then moved the rear back or the front forward or whatever configuration how people normally rotate tires, I noticed that on my passenger side, which is this side, the arrows and the lettering for my tires are facing the correct way. If you can see here, right before the Dunlop, there's an arrow pointing in the right direction for the tire. And if you guys still have your Sport Max tires on, your stock tires, go ahead and check yours because I'm curious. So for the passenger side, my arrows and the lettering of the tire is going the correct way. Same thing with the front. Now this tire that's back here on the rear was up front here, and I moved it to the back. And the back tire that was here, I flipped it to the front on the driver's side. I was doing the crisscross pattern. That's how I was going to do it because my outside driver's side tire gets a lot of wear. I like to hang real hard on exit ramps and stuff. You know, I take them pretty hard, so I know that tire was taking a beating. So I went ahead and flipped that front tire, or flipped the rear tire back here that doesn't get a lot of wear on it, and I put it up to that front corner, the driver's side corner. Anyhow, the arrows on my passenger side tires are going the right direction. I have two tires on the driver's side that are now mounted with the lettering. Let's come up to this one, because this is the tire that was on the rear of the passenger side. And on the other side of my car, on the passenger side, the arrow flips the right way. But if you look here on this Dunlop arrow now, it's pointing the wrong way. Right, oh, where'd it go? There we go. It's pointing the wrong way. That should be pointing towards the front of the car. And when you flip it to the other side, on the passenger side, it's pointing the right way. But when you put this tire on this side, it's pointing the wrong way. So of course you say, well then don't flip it, keep it on the passenger side. Okay, well, again, I had two tires that were on the driver's side that even when I just kept them on the same side and would move them back to front, the arrows were still pointing in the wrong way. So even if I flip this tire back over and take the other tire that was here, it was pointing the wrong direction. And so is this one. So I have two pointing the right direction, two pointing the wrong direction. Now, here's the peculiar thing. If you look at the tread of the tire, you'll see for these two on the passenger side, let's see if I can get that. This is a passenger side tire where it's pointing the right direction. If you look at the outside pattern here, right here, the long wispy end is pointing towards the front of the car. And if you notice on the inside, you don't have this tread. So you can't say, to flip the wheel inside out and mount it the other way, because then you're going to have this on the outside tread, and on the other tire, it'll be the opposite. So to keep this same format here of, line, 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 and then this squiggly pattern here on the outside. When you come over here to the driver's side, you have the same configuration. You have the squiggly pattern on the outside. Let me get some light on here. You have the same squiggly pattern on the outside, but now if you notice, the wispy end is pointing down. On the other side, it's pointing up. That's because the arrow's pointing the right way. This is pointing the wrong direction now. You flip it to the other side of the car, yeah, it'll be pointing the right way, but then the other tire, if you bring it over here, it'll be wrong. So I think they did this to keep the continuity of keeping this on the outside of the tread pattern, but it's the arrow's pointing the wrong way. And I don't know if that makes a difference or not. I know that this tread pattern here is pointing different from the other side. And if you flip the wheel, if on the other side of the tire, on the inside here, you would have to mount this wheel, flip it on the inside of this rubber tire, and then the arrow will be pointing the right way. But then the wheel will be flipped, and you'll have this 3 straight line tread on the outside, and this squiggly part will be on the inside, which is obviously wrong. So they wanted to keep I guess they did it to keep the continuity of the tread pattern, but I'm wondering, does it make a difference? I mean, this is how the car came from the factory. I didn't do anything to my tires last night as far as changing them, how they're mounted in the wheel. That's how they were mounted on the wheel and balanced. But no matter where I move my tires, whether I slide them back to front and keep them on the same side, or if I do the crisscross pattern of rotation, I always have 2 tires that are the tread pattern, the arrow is not pointing the right direction. So I'm wondering if you can check your Sport Max tires and let me know if you have the same thing going on. Don't just look at them real quick. Look at them real quick and then imagine if you decided to rotate them and move them around, what would happen? I don't know. Just let me know. Check your tires if you have the stock Dunlop Sport Max tires, and check your lettering. The Dunlop lettering has a slope to it, and that slope leans forward. And just before the D on Dunlop, there's an arrow down here that shows you which direction your tires should be rotating. And on my car, passenger side, the 2 tires are fine. They're going in the right direction. And on the driver's side, I have 2 tires where the arrow and the tires are pointing the opposite direction. However, the tread pattern matches the passenger side with the same 3 lines on the inside and then this little squiggly part on the outside. But the squiggly part has the long wisp. This long part is pointing downward towards the rear of the car. And on the passenger side, that long wispy part is pointing upward as opposed to downward. The tire's flipped. So no matter how I move my tires, I'm always going to have 2 that are apparently rotating in the wrong direction. So am I confused? Am I wrong? Did they mount these wrong? Did they mount them right? And that's just the way it is, and it doesn't make a difference. I should ignore it. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks.